Week 9 of the Prep Zone is ready to roll, and with the end of the regular season quickly approaching, it's go times for teams making a playoff push. Oh, did I mention it's Friday the 13th this week too? Two big Region 2 7A matchups in East Alabama as 6th-ranked Auburn welcomes Lee to the dump, and Jeff Davis faces top-ranked Central in Phoenix City. Major matchups in Region 1 4A on the Georgia side as well. Columbus faces Westover at Connect Stadium, and Cairo makes the trip to Memorial Stadium to face Carver. LaGrange is hoping that a rivalry matchup can lead to their first win of the year, while Troup may very well be the hottest team in Class 4A, now in the top 10 with their sights set on Cedartown and Cartersville. It's the Grangers and the Tigers, Troup County rivals in this week's Friday Night Tailgate Game of the Week.
What's up and what's good, party people? I'm News 3's Jack Patterson, welcoming you to Week 9 of the Prep Zone Preview, our weekly preview into Chattahoochee Valley High School football. Now, we have a big week in store for you this week as several teams on the playoff bubble face off against one another. Now, we had a couple of big Thursday night games as well. Northside scored 14 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. They knocked off Hardaway 31-21. That keeps Northside in a tie for second in Region 1 4A with Carver and Cairo, who face each other tonight. We'll talk about that game in a second. And only one game back of America Sumter, who hosts Shaw tonight. In Region 4 3A action, Kendrick fell to Pike County 35-6. Now, before we get into our big matchups here in the Chattahoochee Valley, we don't forget our teams playing outside the area. So now it's time to check on our
teams hitting the road.
The Region 5 2A title picture in Georgia will get a lot clearer as the second-rate Callaway Cavaliers travel to Heard County in what could be a de facto region championship game. Two more important games in Region 5 2A as well. Spencer will travel to face off with Temple, while Jordan will head to Lamar County. Both of those matchups will be huge, not just in playoff seeding, but it will determine who likely will make the playoffs out of that region. So 3 huge games in that region tonight. Over in 1A, Sly County has been impressive this season, nearly knocking off Taylor County last week. A big test comes this week, though, as they will travel to Macon County, who we all know is really, really good. Over in Alabama, Opelika looks to keep on rolling as they get healthier. They'll travel to Chelsea. Valley looks to get their season rolling against Sylacauga, and 4th-ranked Lafayette will travel to Ranburne. They're looking to take care of business with their day with 2nd-ranked Lynette looming larger by the week. It's only 2 weeks from tonight. Back over here to the Chattahoochee Valley, Region 2 7A takes our focus over in East Alabama as Auburn and Central both host home games against potential playoff teams. We start with Auburn coming in as the 6th-ranked team in Class 7A as they host Lee out of Montgomery, who also comes into this game with a 5-1 record, and they receive votes in the latest top 10 poll. As of right now, Lee is in 2nd in the Region 2 7A standings, while Auburn is tied for 3rd, 1 game behind the Generals. But keep in mind, Auburn's lone loss came to Central a couple weeks back, and that is who Lee will play next Saturday night at home. Now, this game will be huge. Auburn loss could potentially be detrimental to their playoff hopes, but an Auburn win would likely clinch a playoff berth, and a win next week against Jeff Davis, and they'll be looking at clinching the 2 spot out of Region 2 7A. Meanwhile, Jeff Davis, they're not worried about next week. They're worrying about this week. They'll have their hands full with the number 1 team in Class 7A, the Central Red Devils, who can clinch the region title with wins in the next 2 weeks. And truthfully, honestly, we have no reason to believe why the Red Devils can't do that. They've been dominant all season long. They've only given up 68 points this year. Remember, 28 of those came against Auburn. But Jeff Davis is no slouch. They are a really good team. The Red Devils will need to be ready. But Central also has one of Alabama's most explosive offenses, so Central looks to be in good hands. Over in Georgia, we're also starting to get down to the nitty-gritty as well. And just like last year, Region 1 4A is wide open with 4 weeks to go. America Sumter currently leads that region, but they still have dates with Hardaway and Carver left to go. Northside, Carver, and Cairo are all tied for 2nd in that region. As I mentioned earlier tonight, Northside won earlier on Thursday, so they will remain in that 2 spot. But Carver and Cairo, they'll tee it up at A.J. McClung Memorial Stadium tonight to determine who will join them. Now this is a de facto elimination game for the region championship. The winner will still have a shot at the region title, but the loser will not only lose a shot at that region title, but they will fall into a tie with Hardaway, and potentially Columbus, we'll get to them in a second, for the final playoff spot in that region with 3 weeks to go. 6 teams still alive for 4 spots. Nobody has clinched yet. Columbus will face Westover at Connect. This is a must-win for both teams. A Westover loss all but eliminates them from playoff contention, and a Columbus loss makes things incredibly tough with only 3 weeks to go in the regular season after tonight. Now, a Columbus win keeps them in the thick of things, and potentially they'll have a shot at controlling their own destiny if Hardaway and the Cairo loser were to lose another game. So the stakes are extremely high in both games taking place at Memorial Stadium in Columbus tonight. And it's now time to preview our Friday night tailgate game of the week, and it's 2 Troup County rivals going at it as LaGrange hosts 9th-ranked Troup at Callaway Stadium. Now these 2 teams are on decidedly different tracks at this point of the year. For LaGrange, it's all about pride at this point. The season hasn't gone the way they've wanted it to say the least. It's been a struggle. They are winless so far on this 2017 year. But it's LaGrange's final home game of the year. It's also senior night, and there's something to say about that. You know the team will want to send their fans off with a good showing in their final home game of the year. As for their Troup County rivals, the Troup Tigers, they have been the talk of the state in Class 4A the last few weeks, especially after their 71-16 thrashing of then 8th-ranked Sandy Creek a couple weeks back. For Troup, it's about taking care of business tonight. They have a huge showdown next week with 10th-ranked Cedartown, where a win there, plus a win against Central Cairo at home on the 27th, will potentially create a showdown with top-ranked Cartersville and Trevor Lawrence, their stud quarterback, at home for the Region 5 4A title. And football analysts and enthusiasts across the state are licking their chops for that potential showdown. LaGrange and Troup is our Friday night tailgate game of the week. Join Natalie Pellicetti live at Callaway Stadium starting at 5/4 Central right here on News 3. And then come on back right after the games are over. Join us on the PrepZone at 11:15. Brendan Robertson and Natalie, they'll all run down the scores and highlights across the Chattahoochee Valley. As for me this week, I will be at Beauregard for Frank Beauregard as they host Central Clay. That will be a huge game in Region 4-5A in Alabama. I will also be at Smith Station as they host Enterprise, looking for their first win of the year. And before I leave you guys this week, I've got to mention it. It's Friday the 13th. So you know, in sports terms, anything can happen tonight. Go out and enjoy the games. We'll see you for Week 10 of the PrepZone Preview next Friday.